How many pills do you take each morning? Multivitamins. A testosterone booster. Maybe a scoop of protein powder stirred into cold water. And yet, you still feel slow. Still tired by 10 a.m. Still staring in the mirror wondering, why don't I feel strong anymore? You're doing everything right, or so they told you. But here's the truth. You've been building your body like a man painting cracked walls. The surface might look fresh, but underneath, the structure is still weak. Still hollow. Still missing the very bricks that keep it standing. I'm Dr. Catherine Rocker. For over 30 years, I've worked with men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s. Men who still wanted to feel clear-headed, grounded, respected not just by others, but by their own body. And over those years, I've seen a pattern that's been quietly ruining their progress. It's this: supplements don't work the way you think they do. Especially not when taken on an empty stomach. Especially not without protein in your system. And especially not as a replacement for real food. Because here's what nobody tells you, not the ads, not the packaging, not even most doctors: your body doesn't respond to pills. It responds to signals, and the first signal of the day is not caffeine. Is not Coke 10. It's protein. Real, complete protein consumed early that tells your body, we're not breaking down anymore. We're building again. Without that, your cells stay in catabolic mode, the breakdown mode. Which means those fancy capsules you paid $80 for, they get shelved, stored, excreted. Because your body wasn't ready to use them. Because you didn't give it the builder it was waiting for. So yes, you've been trying hard. You've been disciplined. But if you still feel like your muscles are soft, your mornings are foggy, and your drive is missing, it's not your fault. You've just been using the wrong order of tools. Pills after 60? They're like blueprints. Helpful but useless without workers on site. And those workers? They show up when protein hits your bloodstream. This one change, eating protein within 30 minutes of waking, has restored more men than any supplement stack I've ever seen. So before we talk about breakfast recipes or hormone levels, I want to ask you a different question. Are you giving your body the signal it's been waiting for? Because if not, what you're feeling every morning isn't failure. It's just an unanswered knock at the door. Most men over 60 believe this one thing: the more supplements I take, the stronger I'll feel. It sounds logical, right? You lose energy, you take a supplement. You lose drive, you add testosterone. You feel tired, you reach for another capsule. And soon, your bathroom shelf looks like a pharmacy. Neatly lined rows of bottles with big promises printed on the front. Vitality, strength, longevity. But inside, you still feel the same. And here's why. Your body isn't short on nutrients. It's short on permission. You see, after 60, your body becomes more cautious. It doesn't just use what you give it. It asks, is this the right time? Do I have the resources to rebuild? And if you haven't eaten a complete protein, if you've skipped breakfast, or just had toast and coffee, the answer is no. Your body says, thanks for the supplement, but I'm not open for business yet. It's like delivering bricks to a construction site at 5 a.m., with no workers around, no lights on, no one to receive the delivery. What happens? Those bricks sit. They gather dust. Eventually, they get tossed aside. This is exactly what's happening inside your body when you take supplements without protein. It's not that the ingredients don't work. It's that your system never got the signal to absorb them. And still, we keep piling them on: more pills, more powders, more hope. All while ignoring the one simple truth: no supplement can outperform the absence of real food. Let me say that again. Not one pill, patch, or powder can replace what 20 grams of morning protein does. That protein in the form of eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, even tofu activates enzymes, switches on muscle protein synthesis, and tells your cells, start rebuilding. Only then do your supplements have a place to land. Only then does testosterone get received. Only then do your mitochondria say, okay, we're ready to power up again. So if you've been frustrated, if you've been asking, why do I still feel off even though I'm trying so hard, please hear me, it's not a lack of effort. It's a lack of foundation. And the foundation isn't flashy. It doesn't come in a shiny bottle. It comes on a plate with real food, at the right time, doing exactly what your body still remembers how to do. You've been taught to fix things with a capsule. But your body wants something simpler, something familiar, something it can hold onto and build from. So now that we've cleared the air, let me show you what your body actually needs and how to time it perfectly. Because once you understand the biology, you'll never skip morning protein again. Let's strip away the noise for a second. Forget the labels, the fitness fads, the online advice. Let's talk biology. Because underneath everything you feel the fatigue, the lack of strength, the slow mornings, there's something simple going on inside your body. It's called catabolism. And every night while you sleep, it takes over. Catabolism is your body's way of breaking things down, especially muscle tissue, to stay fueled through the night. It's normal. But here's the part no one ever told you, after 60, your body stays in that breakdown mode until you give it a clear reason to stop. That reason? Protein. Complete, real protein rich in the amino acids your muscles need. Not powder, not pills, not sugar. But eggs. Yogurt. Cottage cheese. Real food your body recognizes. When you wake up in the morning, your body is like a construction site waiting for direction. And protein is the blueprint and the builder. Without it, your body just keeps tearing down what's left. That's why men over 60 who skip breakfast or grab a banana and call it done often feel slower, shakier, more disconnected from their strength. Because nothing signaled the body to switch from breakdown to rebuild. Now here's where timing becomes everything. You have a 30 to 45 minute window after waking up where your body is most sensitive, most receptive, most ready to respond. This is when growth hormone peaks. This is when testosterone pulses are easiest to support. This is when your insulin sensitivity is high enough to absorb nutrients efficiently. And yet, most men miss it. They sip coffee. They pop pills. They wait hours before eating anything of substance. And by then? That prime opportunity has quietly closed. It's like opening your shop for business at noon when all your customers showed up at 8 a.m. and left. That's why the men I work with don't just eat protein, they eat it early. Because protein consumed within the first 30 to 45 minutes after waking reduces cortisol, your stress hormone, stimulates muscle repair, supports testosterone activity, prepares your body to actually use your supplements. It's not theory. It's chemistry. It's what your body has been designed to do for decades, you just haven't been giving it the cue. So now you understand the why. You see the mechanism. This isn't about changing your entire lifestyle. It's about doing one simple thing at the right moment, so everything else has a chance to work. And the good news? You don't have to guess what that looks like. Because up next, I'm going to share a story of a man who had tried everything, until one quiet breakfast turned it all around. Let me introduce you to Robert. A 69-year-old retired firefighter from Michigan. Tough. Loyal. The kind of man who spent his life protecting others but quietly gave up on protecting himself. When he first walked into my office, he sat down slow, with a heaviness that had nothing to do with his knees. He looked at me and said, "Doc, I take collagen. I take zinc. I even started testosterone patches. But I still feel hollow. Not weak. Just not me anymore." He wasn't asking for a six-pack. He wasn't chasing youth. He was trying to feel whole again, to wake up and recognize the man in the mirror. I asked him one simple question. "Robert, when was the last time you had 20 grams of real protein before 9 a.m.? He blinked. Then gave a small laugh, the kind that hides frustration. "Honestly, maybe when I was 50, For the past 15 years, Robert had skipped breakfast. Not because he was lazy. Because the world told him it was fine. That fasting was healthy. That coffee was enough. That supplements could fill in the blanks. But no one told him this. Skipping protein in the morning tells your body to stay in shutdown mode. So I asked him to try something different. No powders. No patches. No fancy routines. Just this. 2 eggs, a scoop of Greek yogurt, and a glass of water within 30 minutes of waking up. Every day. For 1 week. That was it. Day 3, I got a message. Doc, I'm not sure what's happening, but I don't feel as tired after breakfast. Day 6. I walked the stairs without grabbing the railing. First time in years. And by the end of week 2, he showed up at my office with a different posture. Back straighter. Eyes clearer. A quiet fire behind his voice. He sat down and said, I didn't need more pills. I just needed breakfast. That's the thing most men don't realize. You're not broken. You're just missing the first brick. And when that brick morning protein is laid down, the rest of the structure starts to rebuild. Not all at once. Not overnight. But real. Stable. Earned. Robert didn't change who he was. He just remembered. He remembered what strength feels like. What stability feels like. What it's like to trust your body again. And it all began with one forgotten habit: a plate of real food, at the right time, before the rest of the day had a chance to get in the way. So now the question shifts from, what supplements do I need, to something much simpler. What has my body been waiting for, and when will I finally give it? Because once you see that the door never closed, just quietly creaked open, you realize something powerful. You're not done. You were just missing your signal. By now, you understand the biology. You've seen the pattern. You've felt the truth land in your gut. Supplements can't replace what your body is silently begging for: real fuel, at the right time. So let's bring this home. Let's make it simple. Let's give you a 60-second fix you can start tomorrow. No guesswork, no confusion, no overwhelm. Here's what I want you to do. Checkmark within 30 minutes of waking. 1. Drink 1 full glass of warm water. Yes, warm. Not ice cold. This gently activates your digestion, hydrates your cells, and prepares your body to receive fuel. 2. Choose one of the following protein-packed breakfasts. Option 1. 2 boiled or scrambled eggs plus 1 tablespoon of almond butter. Simple. Stable. Full of complete amino acids and healthy fats. Option 2. 1 cup of Greek yogurt plus 1 tablespoon of chia seeds plus 1/2 sliced banana. Fast. Creamy. High in protein, magnesium, and mood-boosting tryptophan. Option 3. 1 slice of whole grain toast plus 2 tablespoons of cottage cheese plus a sprinkle of cinnamon. Light, balanced, and surprisingly satisfying. That's it. No pills. No protein powder. No massive meal prep. Just real food, quickly prepared, deeply recognized by your biology, and timed perfectly to do its job. Repeat this routine at least 5 out of 7 mornings per week. If you wake up early, great. If you wake up late, no problem. But keep that 30 to 45 minute window sacred. It's your body's most open door. Because when you eat this way, you reduce cortisol, the stress hormone that quietly kills testosterone. You trigger muscle protein synthesis, rebuilding what's been lost overnight. You support blood flow and nitric oxide production without needing a single pill, and most importantly, you send the signal your body has been waiting for. We're not breaking down anymore. We're rebuilding. Now here's something powerful. You might not notice a massive change on day 1. That's okay. This isn't a caffeine jolt or a sugar rush. But give it 3 mornings in a row, and you'll start to feel it. A steadier energy, a clearer head, a little more power in your legs when you rise from a chair. Give it 7 mornings, and you might feel like something you lost just quietly came back. So tomorrow morning, don't overthink it. Pick one breakfast. Start your day with protein. Let the pills wait. Let your supplements rest. Because this time, you're not patching holes. You're laying a foundation. Let me set your expectations not for perfection, but for something far more powerful, progress you can feel. Because when you start fueling your body with real morning protein, you won't just see numbers change, you'll feel it in how you walk, how you think, how you show up. Let me walk you through what that journey looks like. Spiral calendar day 1 to day 3, something feels different. It starts quietly. Maybe you notice that first glass of warm water goes down easier than usual. Maybe your breakfast fills you up without making you sluggish. Maybe for the first time in a while you don't need that second cup of coffee just to function. It's not dramatic. But it's enough to make you pause and say, I don't feel worse. I might feel steadier. Spiral calendar day 4 to day 7, my mornings feel lighter. This is where the shift becomes noticeable. Your energy in the first half of the day stabilizes. You're not crashing by mid-morning. You're not as irritable, or forgetful, or fogged in. You might notice something subtle, but deeply important. Your grip is firmer, your steps feel more balanced, and you're not leaning on the counter when you get up from the table. These are not coincidences. They're signs that your body is switching gears from maintenance mode to repair mode. Spiral calendar day 8 to day 14, my strength is returning. By now, your body has begun to trust you again. It's no longer running on leftovers. It's rebuilding from a solid base. Men often report deeper sleep, clearer focus, even early signs of hormonal balance like stronger morning erections, a more grounded mood, or the simple desire to do more than just get through the day. This is your biology reawakening, not because of a breakthrough product, but because you're finally giving it the fuel it remembers. Spiral calendar day 15 to day 30. I feel like myself again. This is when most men walk into my office and say the line I've heard for 30 years. Doc, I didn't think this would matter. But I'm back in their body. Back in their marriage. Back in their rhythm. Not chasing youth but reclaiming control. They're not stronger because of one miracle food. They're stronger because every morning, they made one quiet choice that told their body, you're still worth rebuilding. And when that message gets repeated day after day, your body responds with something profound. Dignity, presence, power. Not the kind that shows up in gym selfies, but the kind that helps you lift your grandchild without pain. Walk the stairs without hesitation. Wake up and recognize your reflection. So if you're wondering whether this small shift is really worth it, look at where you could be in 30 days. Not different, just more you than you've felt in a long, long time. I know what it feels like to walk this road and wonder if you're the only one. To sit in silence with questions you're not sure how to ask about strength, about energy, about the man you used to be. So let me tell you something important, you are not alone. You are part of a growing movement, a quiet return of men who refused to surrender to decline, and who chose to rebuild from the inside out. I've seen it firsthand. Men from Texas to Oregon, New York to Nevada, men just like you, men who didn't want to talk about weakness but were brave enough to ask why they didn't feel strong anymore. They weren't bodybuilders. They weren't chasing vanity. They were chasing vitality, the kind that helps you stand taller, think clearer, move with confidence, and connect deeply. And do you know where that journey started? Not in a pharmacy. Not in a supplement aisle. Not on a lab test. It started at the breakfast table. 2 eggs. A cup of yogurt. A single decision made before the day could steal their energy. I remember David, 72, from Chicago. A retired teacher who said, I used to feel invisible, but now I walk into the room and I feel like I'm back in my body again. I remember Luis, 67, from Arizona. He emailed me after 30 days of this exact routine. Doc, it's not just my strength that's better. It's my marriage. My patience. My sense of self. And I remember Earl, 76, from rural Georgia. A man of few words. He simply said, "That one breakfast brought me back to life." These are not rare exceptions. They are the quiet majority, men who simply stopped waiting for permission to feel better, and gave their body the one thing it had been missing for years: respect. You're not rebuilding alone. You're stepping into a brotherhood of men who chose to eat with purpose, move with care, and age on their own terms. So if this message has stirred something in you, if it's reminded you that your body isn't done yet, then I invite you to say something simple below. Speech balloon comment: I'm rebuilding. Not just for me, but for the next man reading this. The one who's on the edge, who needs to know he's not alone either. Because together, we're rewriting what it means to grow older. And we're doing it one quiet, steady, protein-filled morning at a time. Let me speak to you now, not as a doctor, but as someone who's walked beside thousands of men, some confident, some scared, many silent, but all of them wondering the same thing deep down. Is this just how it ends? Is this just what aging feels like? Is the slowing down permanent? Is the disconnect unfixable? Let me answer you clearly from every ounce of experience, every patient I've hugged, every man I've watched come back to life. No. You are not broken. You're not too late. You're not too far gone. And you don't need to accept quiet decline as your new identity. Because here's the truth no supplement commercial will ever tell you. The most powerful form of healing starts not with a pill, but with a signal, and morning protein is that signal. It's not about muscle size. It's not about chasing youth. It's about dignity, about giving your body the one message it's been waiting to hear. I still believe in you. That first bite of real food? That's you saying, we're not shutting down. We're not giving in. We're rebuilding. You've spent years trying to fix the symptoms. But the moment you return to the root, to what your biology actually needs, you rediscover something that was never gone, just quiet. Just waiting. Just asking for your care. So the next time you see that row of supplements, pause. And ask yourself, have I fed the foundation first? Because now you know no capsule can compensate for a body that's still waiting to be fed. You don't need 10 pills. You don't need superfoods from the Himalayas. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to start, with one plate, at the right time, with one act of quiet belief in yourself. Because healing doesn't begin in a lab. It begins in your kitchen. In the first hour of your day. In the first message you send to your muscles, your mind, and your masculinity. I'm not done, so hear me now and let this truth land deeply. You are not broken. You are rebuildable. In your next chapter? It begins tomorrow morning. If this message touched something in you even quietly, don't let it stay silent. Because somewhere out there is another man like you. He might be your brother. Your best friend. Your neighbor. Your father. Or maybe, he's you, just 6 months ago. He's waking up tired. Skipping breakfast. Stacking supplements. Wondering why everything still feels off. Thinking maybe this is just how aging works. But it doesn't have to be. Sometimes, all it takes is one moment of clarity, one story told with care, one reminder that your strength didn't disappear, it just needs a signal to return. So if this video gave you that moment, if it helped you see that your path forward can begin with something as simple as eggs and yogurt, then I ask just one small thing. Share it. Send it to a friend. Text it to your father. Forward it to the guy in your life who's been pushing through fatigue without answers. Not to fix him. Not to preach. But to gently offer a door he may not know is still open. Because you never know what that one message might unlock for someone else. And if you haven't already, leave a comment below and let us know where you're tuning in from. We are building something here, a community of men who are not broken, not fading, but rising back with clarity and quiet strength. Click the like button so this message reaches more of us. And if you haven't yet, subscribe. Because this is just the beginning. Together, we're rebuilding one protein-powered morning at a time.